this is future Tammy. I have completed the video and I started out, I just wanted to tell you because to keep it from getting confusing because um I was doing this as a color and chat, and then midway through I had an idea that if I did a picture of the week um and worked on a picture all week, a more complex picture, um and then I could just talk about the week as I was going on. So that's kind of what I did, because it did take me a week to finish this picture in this book, because of life and the way things go. So I just wanted to tell you that's how this turned out because I figured this out at the end, and obviously I didn't know it at the beginning of the picture. So but I'm gonna try that. I thought it was a great idea. I don't know, you might not think it's a great idea. But then every week I can post a picture of the week where I'm doing a lengthier picture and I'm just kind of blogging about what's going on during the week. This is the today's domino replacement because he's sleeping right now. So yeah, that's what's going on. And at the end, I'll like, hey, I had a great idea. Yeah. So this is just me telling you about my great idea ahead of time. Anyway, enjoy the color and chat, and I will see you at the end of the video. Hi everyone, this is Tammy from Tammy Colors 2, and today I am here for a color and chat. When I did my haul video, which was the last video that I did before this one, I said that I would do a color and chat out of this book because this was new and interesting, and I really wanted to see how it turns out. And I said I would update you on where I've been, what's been going on, so, because I was kind of absent for a few weeks. And that way, those that wanted to know could come listen to the color and chat and see, hopefully, a pretty picture. I'm drinking Black Dragon Pearls today. So let me move these. I've decided to use my Zig Clean Color brush pens, and I've pulled out some Chroma Flow pencils. We'll see. And I have done a swatch chart. I'll show you the page in a minute of these items. I think I did a pretty good job. This is the picture. So the interesting thing about this one is it's a mandala book, but it's color and number, and it has a palette and an inspiration picture, and then you use this, which I find fabulous. And so I chose this picture to try. I pulled out excuse me, pulled out the colors. Think I did a pretty good job. I'm going to try with these, and then I can fill in with the pencils. Occasionally, I may have to pause to cough because I am, I don't know, dealing with sinus crap. So, I apologize. So, let's move this over. And I can't decide how to attack this one. If I want to start with 1 and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and do it that way. If I want to work from a corner, sometimes I find it easier just to do a color at a time, since it's not like natural coloring where you would pick up a thing. I also have some Tombow brush pens, or blender pens, so that I can use them to pick this up and put it on if I feel like I want it a little bit lighter, because I don't know how this paper is going to do. It's really nice paper. It's pretty thick. I don't want it to bleed through, but that's why I picked the brush pens. Obviously, the pencil won't bleed through. So we are going to give it a try. And hopefully I can keep a thought. And we'll kind of start, I don't know, here. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see better, and hopefully I can remember to move it around. So that's what's going on. I'm just gonna get this started here and see what I love about the Zig clean color brush pens is their control. The ink is beautiful. Now the book recommends acrylic paint pens because the numbers won't truly be covered up unless you use something opaque, but they are pretty light numbers. They're not too bad. I don't think that you'll really notice them. And we'll see if we want to darken like the corners or something like that. Also, the ink in the Zig is really buildable, I have noticed. So that's nice. You just don't want to use it for large areas because these are so, I mean, you can if you want to, but they're very fine brushes on here. If you haven't seen them before, this is the fine brush, and you can buy these in singles, which is cool. They are Japanese. I haven't had a chance to, now that I've finally managed to collect them all, I haven't had a chance to really play with them, so, and see how I like them. I mean, I knew I love them. I've loved them on a few different, used them on a few different things. So, and I have been happy with them. All right, so that's enough of that. So it might not seem like I was really absent that much because I was doing collection videos. I had my coloring book collection, and I started that in July, and I finished it. Oh gosh, what was that? The beginning of October, I think it was my last one, because it took like 24 videos to do all of my books. If you're interested, I went shelf by shelf. I have a playlist for my coloring book collection. Every year I do a playlist for that year. I don't know, do people go back and watch other years? I mean, I'm sure they do. I've watched old videos before. Kind of, if you're new to a channel, it's nice to go back and start and watch some of the original stuff because it's new to you. Let's just see. It shouldn't be coming through. Nope. These, this one is, you have to be careful. It's sewn, I can see. So it does want to come apart a little bit because of the nature. It's kind of the nature of this type of book. And it did say that, I think it was in the beginning of this one, that some spaces are left intentionally white and they are supposed to be that way. So, move this up. We'll go around. We'll do all the ones. So, I'm glad I was doing those because the coloring book collection videos are fairly easy. You don't really have to plan much other than get them out, get them together, um, and then make the video. So that was cool. It was a way that I was able to keep the videos going because, let's see, in July, the end of July, beginning of August starts my husband's big game convention season. Usually, Gen Con is the US's largest game convention, and it is in Indianapolis, Indiana. Um, we go every year, and my husband is, if you did not know, in the game industry. He is an editor, and he works with a lot of companies on game rules to make sure the game rules are understandable. And most of the companies he works with are European, but he does have a few American companies that he works with. Um, so we go to Gen Con to kind of say hi to friends, talk to anybody he needs to talk to, because a lot of companies come to Gen Con. It is, like I said, the largest game convention in the United States. And it is usually at the beginning of August. Well, it changes a bit, but August, sometimes around the end of July, beginning of August. We do have a convention. Also, yeah, I probably never told you. So let me start back at the beginning. So my parents are in their late 70s, and they live in my hometown. They have lived in the same house my entire life. And I live about 60 miles from them, and I visit them often, and they are perfectly capable of living on their own. They don't, fortunately, have, I mean, they have a lot of issues, as aging people do, over time, but there's nothing that makes it so that they need care. They also have a large colony of cats, stray cats, although at this point they're basically their cats, because my entire life people have dumped animals out. And they dump them out in town, because we live in town, because they think people will adopt them, which is not necessarily the case. But there's also kittens and stuff like that. No one seems to want to, there are no programs to help people get their animals fixed in my hometown, my county. I'm hoping to change that. I just got to find the mechanism with which to do so. Anyway, that is beyond the point. So my parents have a cat colony in their yard that they care for also. And that makes traveling difficult. My mother has some challenges with her hands and arthritis and neuropathy and that kind of thing. She had carpal tunnel, which she got fixed, or mostly fixed. So she did have carpal tunnel surgery, which did help. But so she isn't able to, she has a hard time opening jars and things like that. And so when my dad has to go on a trip, because he is in his retirement an assistant band director with my high school band, I go and stay with her so that she has help with anything she needs help with, and to help her care for the cats, because it's a big job. It's a big job to do by yourself. Move this down here. So, my dad usually only has one trip, which is band camp, but this year he has 3. So, and there's a kind of a caveat. The band, the high school band, was invited to the Pearl Harbor ceremony uh, in Hawaii, which is very exciting. The problem is, before they got invited there, they already had a planned trip to Disney this summer, which unfortunately they couldn't cancel. So, and they only go to Disney every 3 or 4 years. I think it's once every 4 years they go to Disney. I don't think it's every other year. Um, so they had that, and then they have band camp, which is in August, and then now they've got this upcoming trip because this is in November, and in the first week and a half of December, they've got to go to Hawaii. So, my dad went to Disney, and unfortunately, so I was taking care of my mom, who also had a bad knee because she has needed knee replacement surgery for a very long time, but had other challenges that needed to be taken care of first before the knee replacement could happen. So I went down there and I worried about her walking because oh, it was very painful. Her knee was very painful. So Dad went and I went to stay, and he got sick on the trip, and he spent the entire time in Orlando uh, at the hospital. So that was one thing. My mom also had like dental surgery that she had to have. So it was a fun time. And I was joking because my mom has a lot of friends who support her and call her, and they talk all the time, and they're very close with their classmates from high school, and they graduated in 1966. So I think that's super cool that they are all so close. And she lives in a small town, so everyone talks a lot. And so when things are going on, everyone calls to check up on you. And I was laughing because she had dental surgery and she was worried about Dad, and she was talking to him while he was in the hospital. And her mouth is bleeding because she had had dental surgery that afternoon. Dad was worried about her. He's in the hospital because she was not looking forward to it. Um, and she's talking on the phone, and I'm bringing her gauze because her mouth is bleeding. And I'm just like, Mom, you have to stop talking. She's like, why? I said, because your mouth is bleeding, and I think that's what's causing it. And she laughed at me. It's a good thing I can always make her laugh. So, so that was a thing. My dad was in the hospital. It wasn't anything, I mean, it was serious, but luckily nothing weird. So he made it through that. He got out of the hospital just in time to go home. He missed all the 100-degree heat and stuff like that in the summer in Orlando. And so that was trip number one. Oh yeah, and on top of everything else, there was a pregnant cat who decided to have her kittens while Dad was gone. On top of everything else, and it was storming, and I believe in letting them. You know, we we provide space for them. We have different cats that do different things. Some of them stay in the garage, some of them stay on the porch. We have houses for them. There's shelter, there's shade, there's water and food and everything they could possibly need. And my parents have taken, I think, all but one of them to the vet. And the one that hasn't gone is because you can't catch him. Um, but it's a lot for them. And so, in the middle of all this, she has her kittens. She has them way far away, and then she decides to carry them. Um, and a couple of them didn't make it, which was very sad. Um, I was pretty much losing my mind because my dad's in the hospital, my mom is sick, you know, and I'm trying to deal with the newborn kittens and having to bury one and all of this, and giving it a proper burial. But one survived, and he is about the most adorable thing you have ever seen in your life. But anyway, so that's a spoiler alert. Um, Everything did end up okay. Um, but it's pouring down the rain. The night Dad got home, it was storming. It was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a horrible storm, and she keeps parking this kitten in front of the door because it's sheltered. I mean, she had him, there were lots of places for her to go for shelter, but she kept wanting to bring him to the door. And so we ended up bringing him on the porch, but they've also never, she's never been inside, which made her nervous, but she was okay, and then Dad gets home because we were like, oh, you're in the middle of the doorway, you know. So we brought her and the kitten inside for a little while. I would like to stress that we do have boxes, we have all kinds of stuff, but you can't make a cat use anything. Um, but she was doing a good job with him. She has done a really good job with him because he is adorable. Um, and it was a fun watching him grow up. But so yeah, that was a thing on top of everything else. I feel like I'm missing a one somewhere, but I'll probably find it eventually. So that was trip number one. All right. So now I'm going to move on to number two, which is iris blue, right? Yep. Hyacinth blue was the other one. All right. Let's go. See if we can find our twos. Out just a hair and try to just get it in there. All right. So that was trip number one, and it was, quite a time. Um, but we survived, and my dad's okay. Um, and then as that, as soon as he got back from that, um, which was kind of the middle of June, I think it was, we had to go to William's parents and help them with some stuff. Like, I think I left mom and dad's and then came home and was home for like a night, and then we went to Michigan. Because I live in Ohio in the United States, if you didn't know. My in-laws live in Michigan, and my parents live in Southern Ohio, and we live between them. So let's see. Oh, what is that gonna be? Oh, is that gonna be white? But it is. I best not get anything on it. We could make it sparkly when we're done. Let's see. So then there was that. Then there was Gen Con at the beginning of August, so I was gone for a week there. And in the meantime, I'm doing, I'm like, what can I put up? Because I'm never home. I haven't been home, and I needed to put some kind of video up. So I just kept doing the coloring collection videos. And I could stack them and I could get several done at a time, which was really nice. And set them to go up. And I tried to do some other stuff. I'd come home and I'd be like, oh, I've got to do this and this and this. Nope. No time. Life, as I like to say, was lifing. Very lifing. So then we went to Gen Con, and luckily this year, usually when I get back from Gen Con, I have to go straight to my parents' house because my dad's usually leaving for band camp. But I had a week in between, which was nice. And then I went to stay with my mom while my dad was at band camp for a week. And then got home and we had to go to Michigan again, which is fine. I don't mind. And then let's see. So that would have been what, the end of August or whatever by then, the middle of August, because we had already been through Gen Con. And then I think I tried to catch up. I had stuff going on. We had, luckily I didn't have choir or anything. Trying to get together with friends while you got all this stuff going on is near impossible. I'm trying to think what else. I know that there's something else that I'm not thinking of. Oh, so then my mom calls me around the end of August and she says, I went to the foot doctor and my foot is completely healed because my mom has had a lot of foot problems. So he can recommend me to get knee replacement surgery. And I'm like, awesome, because she really needed the knee replacement surgery. And so before I knew it, it was scheduled and she had knee replacement surgery on September 17th, which in between there was my dad's birthday, and mom had a party that was on September 6th. So we had my dad's birthday and she had a birthday party for him, and then she had her knee replacement surgery and I stayed there for 9 days. I was at my parents for 9 or 10 days. I can't remember. So that my dad didn't have to do everything, because it's hard to take care of everything and do the laundry and keep track of all the medications. I had to keep a list because on top of all the medication that she takes, then there were new ones and pain medications and this and that, and we had to write it down. I'm telling you, that was like the saving grace. I mean, she knows what she takes on a regular basis, like all the normal stuff, so she can always tell you. But when you have to have it, I'm used to what she has to take, like in the morning and before meals and all that other stuff. But like then you add all the other stuff in that has to be controlled and pay attention to, and you have to take it in certain intervals. And keeping a list of what was taken when was just like the saving grace of the whole thing. So dad and I, that way Dad didn't have to ask me. It was on a list. On the list because sometimes, he was sleeping with her. So if she needed anything in the middle of the night, then he would be the one. And so we just had to make sure we kept up the list for both of us so that we all knew what was going on. And so she knew. I mean, she's in control of her own destiny. So, um, so there was that. And then I got home. Um, got home from that. And something tells me I had to take William. I think we had to go to Michigan again. I can't remember why. Oh, well, they needed help with some things. There was a tree branch on the roof that we had to get down, and they have a couple of really big walnut trees, and so I had to sweep all the walnuts off the roof. Ooh, oh, there's blue right here. So I am very thankful of this fine nib right here. So then we went to Ann Arbor, and it was a quick trip because my husband was really busy. And then we had to get ready to go to Germany. So then in October, we went to Germany for 10 days. We were gone for like 10 days. And that was fun. So my husband, the largest game convention in Europe is in Essen, Germany. So we go every year, except for during the pandemic when, pretty much nobody could go. And so this is the second year that we've gone back. We have a lot of friends in Europe. So it's really nice. We get to see them and hang out with them. I mean, a lot of them come to the big convention here, so we do get to see them. But still, it's nice to go visit your friends. Okay, let me move this down so that the bottom half is in the camera. Okay. We will continue on with this. And so I did take video. I took some videos. I took videos of the convention. Unfortunately, it rained. Which was fine during the convention, but we had one day of sightseeing and it rained, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like getting wet, given all the sinus crap that I have going on right now. So we stopped in a parking lot in Würzler, sorry. And we were going to go to the church. And, but the parking lot is, like an 8-minute walk away. So, and as soon as we parked, it started raining harder. And it's like, we just can't catch a break. So, we did get to do a little shopping. It was like 4 hours. I got 4 hours worth of shopping in Frankfurt. And then we had to go to dinner because we were meeting. Oh, crap. Oh, no, that's right. We were meeting German friends for dinner at a restaurant. And I went through daylight savings time while I was in Germany, which means I got to do it again this past weekend here in America, which was fun. Actually, daylight savings time doesn't, I don't know, it's never really bothered me, but I understand why people don't like it. The convention was fun. Um, I mean, I get a little bit different view of it because we have exhibitor badges, and so, oh, hang on, had to cough. So we have an exhibitor that we can go in their booth, and the booths in Essen are enormous. You know, I was joking that like Asmodee had a storefront. I mean, like literally a room built as a store because a lot of the really big um, companies like Mattel and Asmodee and Amigo um, and Pegasus all have these huge booths, and they will put the store where you can buy the games off to the other side in a different place so that, you know, there's not like a huge line of people all the time, which is cool. I like it. Um, so far, I am happy with how this came out. So, I got back and I've been fighting with jet lag for the last week, trying to figure out what videos I need to do. What can I get myself together to do? Um, so now we have to pack pack my dad for Hawaii. So that's, I mean, my parents are not travelers as a general rule, so my mother is not going, my mother is staying. Um, I told her she could go. I would stay anytime my parents want to go anywhere. I'm perfectly happy to go to their house and stay and take care of the cats. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So in the middle of my mom having her recovering from her knee surgery, um, we noticed that one of the inside cats, they have two cats, inside, Lucky and Elizabeth, and Lucky was having trouble going to the bathroom, like pooping. Um, and so my mom is dealing with all of her pain. My dad was there most of the time, but this day in particular, he had gone up to the school, um, and it was just kind of the luck of the draw. And so my mom called the vet, and they're like, "Well, you can drop him off. We don't really have an appointment, but you can drop him off, and we'll look at him when we get a chance." So I went and grabbed him, and of course, depending on the day, some days he hates me, and some days he likes me. I think I'm just the harbinger of doom. He knows that when I'm there, something is going to happen, for ill or will. And so, yeah. But so my mom was like worried sick about him, and she like I was working at the dining room table, and she wakes up from a dream. Plus all the medications that she had been on, she and I both have weird dreams anyway. But the the medication, I think some of it, the pain medication, was giving her bad dreams. And so I hear her, and I managed to get off my phone call, um, and go run in there. And she had woken up from a dream, and it was horrible. She didn't know what was going on. There was something with Lucky, and I'm like, it's okay, you know. Well, he'll be okay. Um, And they did have to do surgery and remove hair and poop. And so now he has to take medication. For some reason, he's getting backed up, but I think he is kind of a nervous cat anyway. So he probably licks more. So she has to brush him a lot. And he's still having trouble after all these weeks. They didn't get him back until after I had gone home. Um, just, and now she's got a problem. I did not know this could happen, but she has had both of her eyes done for cataracts. So she's had cataract surgery on both of her eyes. And apparently a cataract can grow on the new lenses, which I did not know could happen. And that has happened. And so she has to go on Friday, and they're supposed to be able to remove it with a laser. So we'll see. But it's driving her crazy because, of course, it's all foggy, which I get. But geez, you know, it's like you can't win for losing sometimes. Um, so that is where I have been. So now it's been crazy. We'll pull this back down here, and we'll start the Persian green, which is number 3. Let's see, I'm trying to be slightly systematic. I think when I get done with this, I'll go see if I think any elements need shading with pencil or something like that. Like if I want to make the corners dark or whatever. I just love the the ink in these is really nice. Of course, these are artist grade. Um, they are. Took me a little bit to collect them all, but now that I have them all, and then you can just buy a single color, or if you just want to collect a certain color palette with them, you can. There's 180 colors in the Zig, if you did not know. And these are water-based markers. I also love the, you want to do big areas. Give me a second to get this done. I have a couple here. I need to put my reading glasses on. You could use probably the Art and Graphic Twins, which are really neat. They have kind of a much bigger brush nib. Now they're pricey too, but they have amazing ink in them. I can't remember how many colors of those there are. They are a little pricier, to be honest, but if you want to do like larger areas, those are probably better. Probably gonna end up to I need to learn patience. Um, I'm not bad. I'm more patient with other people, than I am myself. Um, so I'm trying to think if there's anything. So now I've got to get back to videos, but we're also in the middle of, we have Thanksgiving here. In a couple weeks, the end of November. And then it's full on Christmas. And I haven't gotten to do any real fall I didn't get to do summer coloring. I didn't get to do um, Halloween coloring, really. I've done a few pictures here and there. I took, um, I'm a terrible blogger. I took, I made a video of the stuff I was taking with me to color in Germany on the plane, and I had whittled it down, and um, I was proud of myself for, because it's hard for me. I'm one of those people who would be happier if if I could sit down and color and I just had an entire art store at my fingertips, because it's like I never know what I'm going to use. And I'm trying to break myself of that. And I need to wear my reading glasses more because I get color on there, but we can fix it. Um, all right, so threes, 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 threes. There's threes here. I guess I'll have to, I don't know. We'll see if I run out of things to talk about. I need to do, I think next I need to do my Color Around the World with Me video. I can't, um, I can't really tell how many people are interested in that. On some level, I'm like, eh, you know, it interests me. Um, and I think it's fun, and I think more people will jump on board as I do it. Um, but it's unfortunate that I did like two videos and then life kind of went off the rails, and um, yeah. So I was very disappointed that I was there in Germany. I wanted to get, I think I said this in my haul video, I really wanted to get the Halloween book by Hannah Carlson, and I found out that it came out in November, or comes out in November in Germany, if all the information I found was correct. And I was leaving, like, we were flying home on the 29th of December, or sorry, October, December. Oops. So, yeah. And I'm like, man, but I did get the new Rita Berman book um, while I was there, and all these other cool books. So it's fine. I'll just wait till next year. I don't need a Halloween book. I have tons of Halloween books that I need to color in. So I think I've past the. I have to have it now. I mean, or really, I don't. Sometimes I get things because I know y'all want to see them. Um, but there's lots of people that get them. So this is going to be pretty. This book is going to be awesome. I would like to find, besides, I gotta decide what direction um, I want my channel to go, because my philosophy has always been, the bottom of the page, yes. Um, my philosophy has always been that, this is my hobby, it's not my job. And so I want people to enjoy the stuff that I put out. Um, So I've got to figure out what I enjoy and that others enjoy so that I can do videos on it. Because I can't do my book collection. The book collection was very popular. Um, I worry that its size kind of is daunting. I never expected anybody to watch all the videos, I'll be honest. But if people, wanted to see certain things, it is fun to watch people's book collection videos. I love seeing books. And a lot of people have said, well, if you didn't do these, then I wouldn't have ever known that such and such book exists. Because a lot of times I worry that, my collection's getting old. Let's see. These colors are beautiful. I cannot wait to see this done. It is going to be so pretty. It's coming together nicely so far. Gotta do this over here, even if I'm not wearing my reading glasses. I'm also trying to get more comfortable. I mean, it sounds strange, but coloring in on camera is not easy. And it depends. I mean, color by number is easier because I don't have to think about, make a plan. The plan is kind of done for me. I did have to plan a little bit, but like coloring a page is hard because I never know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't have a vision. Usually it takes me forever to figure out what that is. Either I know immediately, which is kind of rare, or I have to figure it out because I am usually overwhelmed with options. What do I do? And how does everybody feel about the new Sarah Renee Clark color cubes? They look cool. I mean, I realize you take your chances when you get something that it's going to be updated and stuff, so. But it has been a few years. I just got to decide. I do want the updated, but do I just want to buy the digital um, version instead? I've got to look and see how I use my color cube and determine what I want to do. All right. Next is number 4. Duck blue is what I'm using. Only goes to there. I'm trying to be neat about this, but so yeah, let me know if you're a person who watches my channel regularly or as regular as it can be. Like if there's anything in particular that you really like that I do, and I will see about continuing to do that. Or if there's something I haven't done that you think might be awesome, let me know. I have a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of stuff going, and sometimes I just don't have time. But I am slowly learning how to live my life and still do all the things that I want to do. So It's just that from time to time, a little feedback helps. And I did get, I have gotten amazing comments from people. Thank you. I think a couple of weeks ago, I realized I'm usually really good about comments, but I had a lot going on, and I all of a sudden realized that I hadn't looked at comments for like 10 days, and I'm like, holy crap. So I apologize. I mean, I've taken care of all that now, but you know, I probably should have done this a different way, but I think it's going to work out. Yep. This color is just beautiful. I just love it. All right, so I kind of broke off and left it here yesterday. I colored in spaces that I missed. Sorry if I cut out, if some of the coloring is missing, but it was just blue. And I was rambling on, so I kind of cut that out. But we are on to the next color. We're finally in a color that's not blue. So I'm using cadmium yellow for this one, and we're on number 5. So we'll start at the top. And if I run out of things to talk about, then I can just speed it up. But I'm not really sure. That's a good question. Some 5s. So, do you like it when people speed things up? I think I also realized yesterday I wasn't talking really loud, so I'm having a better time talking today. I often wonder sometimes too, like, should I just do however much of this I get done, and then I think here I'm gonna try picking up some of this with a pen and like a Tombow brush pen. So, oops, put some here, pick it up, and just kind of, that way it kind of spreads it out a little bit. And I can make it darker on the bottom side. That's kind of cool. I like how that works. You look at the color, how pretty. There, let's see, and then there's a 5 up here. I live in fear of forgetting what number I'm coloring. I'm just coloring something random. I have done that before. You just get in the groove. So I was trying to think if there was anything I hadn't told you, and I don't think so. I'm gonna do, let's see, I think I went over, I'm gonna continue my Color Around the World with Me series. Oh, see, there's what I did. Look at that. Let me see if I can pull some of that off right now before it gets too bad. 8 is a dark red, so I'm not really worried about it. Honestly, it'll cover that right up. I might go ahead and color it here in a moment so I don't. Sometimes if I color the wrong color on something, I'll color it the right color right away so I don't forget later and think, oh, well, in case I don't see the number or notice that it's the wrong number. This is coming along nicely. It hasn't taken me as long as I thought it would to do these. So far, I think we'll skip ahead to red, which is it this color? No, that's not it. Here it is. here's number 8. I'll just go ahead and do the 8 and get it out of the way. It's kind of a really dark reddish brown. Now this I really don't want to make a mistake on because I won't be able to fix it. I need to let that dry a little bit more. Maybe that's more exciting than doing one color. Maybe doing all of one section so you get a sense of the color of it is better. I kind of go back and forth with color by numbers and how I do them and approach them. I think it depends on how the picture speaks to me. Some I do all one color, some I go top to bottom. Because I think every picture is individual in how it works with you. Does that make sense? It sounds really, feng shui, I guess. Got a couple of 8s there. Feels weird skipping ahead colors. And this is an 8 here. Oh, that color right there continues on. I just noticed that the 5 kind of continues on. So you can kind of see how effortless these are to use. Doesn't mean they're not without their drawbacks, but the zigs are, in my experience, amazing to use. The ink is just really nice. They're worth the investment, we'll put it that way, if you want a really good water-based marker. And I think I need to go back and do this. Oh, and then I think I missed those also. See, look at the things you miss sometimes. But I also find with the zigs, they don't bleed through as easily as some other water-based markers. Even the dark colors. Let's see how I'm doing with the dark. Yep, the dark is doing well. Very cool. Oh, look at that. There's a couple of 4s that I missed. That's just ridiculous. It's crazy. I went through looking for 4s yesterday purposefully. Like, okay, where's all the ones I missed? And I still couldn't see them all. What is wrong with that? Okay. I have to. After I shut the camera off, I went through going, okay, where's all the ones that I missed? So let's see, what's color number 6? Number 6 is pale pink, which I think is this one. Yeah. So we'll do that. I guess I started talking more about coloring than actually the chatting. Let's see, what else? We had a great Halloween. We didn't dress up this year. We had just gotten back. Sometimes we wear a costume, but it was raining and we weren't sure if the weather was going to be nice. We honestly weren't sure how many trick-or-treaters we would have. And just trick-or-treating boggles my mind these days because, like, people in the cul-de-sac that's, like, in the street that is in front of our house, like, some of them didn't get anybody, and we had, like, 41 because we'd make up treat bags. So we try to keep track every year so we know how many to make up for the next year. We can kind of guesstimate after so many years. Um, and I was just amazed. But, you know, the including us, I mean, my husband and I remember trick or treating when we were kids, and people would give you money and apples and popcorn balls and stuff, that people made, and it was awesome. I think it's sad that kids today don't really get to experience that because some people just had to ruin it for everybody. I mean, we never thought about it, to be honest. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. Um, to think about like bad stuff, like somebody putting bad stuff in trick or treat candy. I mean, that was just unheard of, unthought of when I was a kid, as far as I know. I'm just anxious to see what all the colors look like together and see if I did a good job picking them out. Excuse me. I apologize. That one caught me by surprise. I think that's why I was talking so low yesterday. I was afraid I'd start coughing and I didn't want to have to keep turning off the microphone. All right, so what was 9? Oh, yeah, 9 was this. Uh, 8 is this one. Just do this right now. And I love the fact that these zigs are buildable. Like the coverage seems to build. I've been a little bit sloppy in a couple places, I can see. Oh, yeah, I've got to do a 7 there. 7. This one is 7 here. I'm using like an ochre color. Some of these colors were a little hard to match, but I didn't have too bad of a job. I did, part of my problem is like I'm always looking to match them exactly. And I know that's not necessarily the point. It's just, the way my brain works. And then this here is a green. That. And then this is green. But yeah, back to my earlier question, like, so I'm sure it doesn't matter, but it just, if anybody's listening now, um, when you're watching videos, would you rather have like a set amount of time, like say, I know this is going to last half an hour or an hour, and then just do the same picture, or talk as long as you want and then just finish the picture either off camera or speed it up? Still haven't figured out which ways I like better. Sometimes it's nice to just turn off the camera, color it, and say, look, it's done. That's kind of nice. And then you don't have to worry about it. I think I had forgotten how much I liked coloring and chatting, but it's also nice to have something to say. I think a lot of times I don't have a lot to say, which is a problem. You know, move this down a little bit. I am not a person who talks a lot. If you ask me a question and I have an answer, I'm happy to talk about it. You know, if you ask me about something I'm interested in or, you know, something I'm passionate about, I'm very happy to answer, but I'm not a person who seeks out conversation. And it's not because I don't like people. I do. Well, it's just not, on some level, it's not how I'm built. So for all of my friends who watch and just wonder, well, why is it that I'm always contacting her? It's just because I guess I always feel like, maybe I'm bothering them or something like that. Um, that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a self-confidence thing. Oh, did y'all see anybody who is interested that Meg from Meg's Coloring Corner, formerly Disney Meg's Coloring, is back after her hiatus? That was cool. It was nice to see her come back. I understand taking time to heal and get yourself back together. I've had a number of friends who have had things going on, and like my mom and dad lost another outside cat. Oh, while I was in Germany, so that was kind of sad. I mean, we love them all. Um, and we do the best we can. I always feel like I feel like they're my cats, but I mean, technically they're nobody's cats, but I guess they're my parents' cats because they care for them. Um, and they all have names, and you know, I just always feel bad when I can't take them all in. Okay, so that is looking pretty nice. I think that's all of the colors. I think I have all of the colors represented up here now. So that's kind of going to be what it's going to look like. And I think I may soften the edges with some pencil. I'm going to try it. This one I'm going to do all of my experimenting on. But it's got to dry because it's still wet. Um, but I think what I'll do, since I really don't have, I can't think of anything. If I do think of something, hey, I'll turn on the camera and I will talk when I finish this, and then I'll come back and when I have this done, which will only be a few seconds for you or a few minutes if I decide to talk about something else, and we will see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, it's done. So exciting. Um, while I was coloring this, I had a great idea. I'm like, because it took me basically all week to do it. Because this is kind of a major picture. I thought, maybe I should choose a picture every week and just work on it like all week and do a video and then post it like on Mondays or something and make it my colorist's log, which is like my captain's log. I haven't done one for a while. But I don't know. I'll have to think about what I want to call it. Picture of the week might be Tammy's picture of the week, something like that. And it'll be like something like a more major undertaking than, a small picture, a marker only picture. So we'll see. That's an idea. And then I can just talk about things as the week goes on, and I don't have to, I don't have to think about stuff all at once and sit down and color for an hour. Not that I mind. I just feel like maybe I want to try that because it might be easier. Anyway, sorry about that. Here is the picture. I just thought I'd see what you thought. But anyway, here is the picture. Full disclosure, this did come out, but I have a feeling these pictures are wont to do that because of the way this one's put together. But I am happy with the way it came out. I think the next time I might try acrylic paint markers and see how they look. I mean, I was a little messy. It has been a while since I've done any major coloring. And I've not used the zig a lot. So it's me getting used to them, but I am really happy with how they work. I think the next time I would do a lot better. But yeah, this is a pretty, pretty picture. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see what I can do about a weekly coloring video. Decide if I want to start it now or start it at the end of or at the beginning of the year or something new and exciting, you know. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me and watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.